And I said, ooh, I'ma get a half of the town in a move. We be throwing actors in Kalamazoo. Thinking I went platinum, the sound in the room. And people gonna be tracking me down with the truth.
Hey, long time no see. This is my first time filming a video in about a month, so bear with me today. Hey guys, it's Julia. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. We have so many new people here and I'm just super excited about it. So if you're new here, hello, welcome. Today's video is going to be new makeup releases, favorites, and fails. This is a series where I basically just go through all the new makeup releases I tried out recently and review them all. I know, super creative concept. But before we do that, I want to share some things on my wish list so you guys can see what other new releases I might be picking up or what might show up in future videos like this. I create all my wish lists using ShopTagger. It's basically an online browser extension. When you're online shopping, you just hit the button and it automatically saves everything to a wish list. And that wish list actually notifies you when prices go down or when it comes back in stock, so very, very convenient for me. They've also recently added this area where you can find coupon codes for all the stores that you've saved items from. Seriously, one of the most convenient things for online shopping. So 3 things currently on my wish list: the Fenty Beauty mini gloss bombs. Oh my god, I want them so bad. It's one of the few like holiday sets where I feel like I would actually like use all the products, and because they're minis I feel like I'd actually go through them, so that's definitely on my wish list. The new Lunar Beauty Moonspell palette. I really love the Strawberry Dream palette just in terms of quality and the finishes of the shades in here. It's so much better in person than how it looked on Instagram when I first saw it. So the Moonspell palette, I was a little underwhelmed when I saw the color scheme, but then Manny posted a thing under light and it just looks so beautiful, so that is on my ShopTagger wish list as well. I can't wait for that one. And the packaging, I'm a Gemini witch, so I need it. Also on the wish list, those damn Pat McGrath quads. They look so beautiful. I did declutter my big Pat McGrath palette because I wasn't using it, but I've really been craving those like finishes of those beautiful metallic foiled shades, and if those quads have that, they're definitely going into my shopping cart off my wish list. Download ShopTagger using my link below. Every time I've done a video with them, I've had people try it out and love it, so I definitely recommend it. But yes, those are the things currently on my wish list. Thank you so much to ShopTagger for sponsoring today's video. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say. Full details of this look should already be on Instagram. Pick up the Flower Child merch before it's gone, and I bring back something that has been highly requested. It's merch. Also, please stay to the end for a little bit of an announcement. It's kind of a big one regarding this series. And without further ado, let's get into it. I think in August I just tried out a bunch of foundations, so during September I really wanted to scale it back on the amount of foundations I tried out. And it's a mini size, but it is one of the foundations I was very excited about. So this is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation. I do have a get ready with me if you want to see me like using this in real time and see how it blends out of the skin. And I have the shade 6 Warm. It's a little bit darker than I normally go, but I do have a bit of a tan right now. And you know what? I went into this one not expecting to like it, like at all. You guys know that my ideal foundation finish is very dewy. And this one was kind of advertised as a soft matte, more full coverage foundation, which I wasn't sure I was gonna like. But I generally have really enjoyed Charlotte Tilbury's complexion products. The Flawless Filter, for example, is like my favorite thing on earth. And I really do enjoy the, I think, Magic foundation. That one's very similar to the Flower Beauty Light Illusion, pretty much like perfect dupes for each other. And this one, weirdly really good. Even though it is more of like a soft matte foundation, I think you can really manipulate it to get it to the finish you want. So personally for me, I like myself to be almost like verging on oily. So with this one, I like using it with a more dewy primer and then not setting it down with powder. I heard when Charlotte Tilbury did the Victoria's Secret fashion show, the protocol she gave her makeup artist was, if the foundation looks like foundation on the skin, you're done. And I kind of love that. I don't like my foundation to look like foundation. I just want it to look like I have very, very good skin. I don't think I'm gonna pick up a full size immediately just because I do have like a ton of other things I'm trying to go through, but this does get my stamp of approval. So if you were wanting to try it out, I think it's a really good formula and also would probably work well for a bunch of different skin types. I personally am very dry and I do have dry patches all over like my chin and my cheeks. Like this one, I feel really weird talking with a very small baby bottle, but yeah, this is good. I'm glad I was able to test it out in a sample size because Lord knows I've bought enough new foundations that have been very disappointing this summer. So, as we know, ColourPop has been wildin' this summer, and just mostly out of spite, but also I've just not really been interested in anything they've released. I haven't purchased anything from ColourPop since the Aha Honey palettes. I wasn't necessarily like boycotting them. ColourPop is just crazy and I feel bad for the employees. So I didn't really see anything new from ColourPop that was interesting to me until they decided to pull on my Orange County heartstrings and come out with another Disney collection with princesses on it. And you know what? I don't feel bad about it because I only bought the things that were interesting to me. Even though the palette looked beautiful, I knew I wasn't gonna like actually find time to use it and really enjoy it in the way that it should be enjoyed and used. So I picked up 2 things that interested me, and by far the most requested to review was the highlighter. They came out with a bunch of pressed powder highlighters with these beautiful like princess artworks on the outside. I got the shade Horse and Carriage. It's the Cinderella one, and it's, you know, the most basic pearly champagne shade ever. I mean, are we shocked? This is the color I always go for. But yeah, I mean, I was thoroughly impressed by the packaging of these, and I will admit, if it hadn't been in this kind of packaging, probably would not have bought a new highlighter in this color. It is a more like collector's piece, and beyond that, it's a really good highlighter. I'm wearing it on my cheekbones right now. I did a pretty like light dusting of this one. I wouldn't say it looks like a cream highlighter on your skin, but it doesn't look chunky and gross, and that was one of the problems I've always had with ColourPop's pressed powder highlighters. I really like the Super Shock highlighters because they're a more like cream to powder texture and they really melt into your skin, but all the like pressed powder highlighters I've tried from them have just looked really aggressive and chunky and not pretty. The thing that comes to mind for me is the Gimme More pressed powder highlighter palette. I hated that shit and everyone loved it, and I was like, y'all tripping. In fact, it kind of reminds me of like NARS Fort de France. Really nice, smooth, like finely milled pearly finish. And they do have a bunch of different shades. It just happened that the shade that I liked the most also had the packaging that I liked the most. But yeah, between the packaging and the actual highlighter, I'm very happy that I bought this one. I think it's only $10 too, so. And then the other thing I picked up from the collection was their Luxe Liquid Lip. From what I can tell, this is a pretty much completely new formula of liquid lipsticks from ColourPop. And I was very interested in that because we all know I do really love the Ultra Satin lips, and they probably make up the most lipsticks that I have in my collection. And I do have a few Luxe lipsticks that I really enjoy, so I was interested in trying a liquid version of that. So I picked up the shade Beast, which was the Belle one, described as a more like rosy toned nude. So that is this color. I am wearing it on my lips right now underneath a lip gloss. I would say these are definitely more sheer than the Ultra Satin lips. So I describe the USLs as being pretty much like a matte liquid lipstick in terms of pigmentation, but they don't dry down completely, so they're a lot more comfortable. This is a lot more sheer than that, and it also doesn't dry down, so it does have a more satiny finish, but it doesn't have as much like thick color pigmentation. However, I don't think it's anything like the Ultra Blotted Lips, which I also really do enjoy, but those are like very, very sheer. These have a little bit more color payoff to them. Really pretty and very comfortable formula. I don't really think I like it more than the Ultra Satin Lips though. I mean, if it were me, I would like still keep this beautiful packaging, but put the Ultra Satin Lip formula in here just because I think it's like better. I want to touch back in and give this palette a final review. This is the Sugarpill Fun Size Mini Palette, and I've used this one in quite a few different videos. I do have a get ready with me with this one as well, so if you want to see it in action. But yeah, it's a full palette of rainbow pastels. Is anything more targeted at me? No, I feel very attacked. I think this is a stunning representation of what Sugarpill has to offer. Technically, no, it's not the exact same formula as their bigger eyeshadows. The ingredient breakdown is different, but also it's pastel shades. I wouldn't expect the ingredients to be the exact same order, but it does perform at the same caliber as Sugarpill's bigger shadows, and for $28, I love this palette and I don't regret buying this one. I think the reason I like this one so much is because it really filled a void that I didn't have in my collection. I have plenty of like rainbow full spectrum palettes, but I didn't have anything that was like these beautiful bright colored pastels that still had vibrancy, but were definitely true pastels, and this is that for me. So on a more negative note, because of course I actually don't have the product to hold up right now because I threw it away. Rarely do that, but this one was justified in my opinion. I only took a few moisturizers up to college with me, and of course my smart brain would be like, hey, let's take this one that I've never tried before as like my only daytime moisturizer. So I took the Boscia Cactus Water Moisturizer. It's a really, really interesting texture. Kind of, it looks like it's gonna be like a water cream, but it's thick and like kind of jelly and almost solid, so you kind of scoop it out, it holds its form, and then you smooth it out onto your skin and kind of melts in there. The problem is that texture, because it is such a like thick, almost solid formula, it dried down and then started to peel off. I made the mistake of wearing it under makeup one day. That was the only like new thing I used on my face. Everything else was like products I know how they work and how they like interact with each other. And halfway through the day, my foundation was just peeling off my face. So that was a fun time, especially like more silicone-y primers. I put Tarte Silk Canvas on top of it once, and that was just a mess. So yeah, that was probably the biggest fail of the month. Alter Ego came out with a new palette called the Sahara this month. And at first glance, I knew it was a dupe of a Natasha Denona palette. I wasn't sure which one, just because at a certain point, all the ND palettes kind of blend together for me. But this is a dupe of the Biba palette. And I really enjoy Alter Ego's Goddess palette. This one is a dupe of the ND Gold. This is like one of my favorite neutral palettes in my collection. So I have very high expectations for the Sahara palette just because I really enjoy this one. This one's a lot more dominated by matte shades. There's only 3 shimmers in here, whereas this one is actually predominantly shimmers. And I think the shimmers in the Goddess palette make the whole palette really special because it's filled with a lot of really beautiful duochromes and very like foiled metallic shades. Overall, I do like this palette. I think the formula is very consistent with this formula. The shimmers in here are a lot softer and you don't get like very foiled metallic duochromes that you got in here. So for that reason, I don't really find this to be as special of a palette. The kind of weird thing with these dupe palettes is I don't know if I should like criticize the color scheme that they came up with or that Natasha Denona came up with, because technically this is Natasha's color scheme. I think this will actually be a really good like neutrals palette for somebody who has deeper or like a more medium skin tone. And I do think there are a few repeating shades in here that look pretty much the same. So Sierra and Fox look almost the same on the eyes. Same with Savannah, Adobe, and Camel. These 3 shades here, very minimally different. Even like Canyon and Raven, just 2 like dark matte browns. So Sahara for me, I would say it's like a 6.5, maybe 7 out of 10. Quality wise, it's awesome. Color scheme wise, it's fine. My friendship with the legendary Nisa has kind of forced me to start trying out plumping lip glosses again. I've never had like a problem with lip plumping glosses, but I've never like actively sought them out as something I want. But Nisa has introduced me to a life of pain that I do really enjoy. So Ciate came out with some new lip plumping glosses. These are the Pump Plump. These 2 shades here I think are lovely. My personal favorite is the shade Honeydew. Again, it's like a mid-toned nude pink because I am so predictable. And then Blossom is really pretty. This one's more on the sheer side, so if you're worried about that this like baby pink will show up on you, it's pretty much just clear. They are really pretty glosses. I'm not wearing them right now. I'm actually wearing the ColourPop I'm wearing the ColourPop and Karuchi Brown Sugar gloss in the shade Blowsy. I don't think that these measure up to Nisa's level of like painful plumping gloss, and they don't even measure up to mine. Probably the most painful plumping gloss is the Too Faced lip injection one. That one stings. That's like a bee sting. This is like a little bit of a minty tingle, but that doesn't really take away from the fact that it is a really nice lip gloss and also not very sticky. So if you want a lip gloss that feels kind of like more slick and wet on the lips that your hair just won't like automatically migrate to, I think these are a great option. But if you're wanting like a plumping gloss, I don't really think that this is that. So good gloss, but like lip plumper,
she's nothing like that. She's nothing of the sort.
Possibly one of the highlights of my month was getting this amazing, very generous PR package from Makeup Revolution, a brand that I never thought would recognize my existence. Thank you so much to Conchita and the Makeup Revolution team for that. But there were so many products in that package. I am putting a few of them into a giveaway that I should be doing. I was gonna do a 20k giveaway, but then time got away from me, so I think we're gonna wait until 25k. But yeah, they sent a ton of things from their Revolution Pro line, which is their more like high-end-ish quality makeup items that I was very excited to try out. So I picked out a few things that I want to share a review on. First would be these eyeshadow palettes, the Revolution Pro Legendary and Astrological. I was very interested in these ones mostly because of the appearance of the shimmers. They're that kind of like marbled, interesting texture shimmer. Very similar to like BH's Solar Flare palette, I think. So the Astrological one is the more like neutral toned. The Legendary one, I'm actually wearing shades from this one on my eyes right now. All the matte shades I have on my eyes right now are from this palette. So I'm wearing Legit, Stand, and Just on my eyes. I think a little bit of Suited as well, just on the outer corner. My feelings on these palettes are as mixed as my genetics. That's such a bad joke, I'm sorry. I think the mattes in here are actually really good, and I was very not expecting that because I don't like Makeup Revolution shadows at all. Granted, it has been a while since I've tried stuff from Makeup Revolution. I think that their eyeshadows for me have been very hit and miss. The more expensive generally the palette is, the better the quality is, whereas like the $7 palettes I don't think are great. These blended stupidly beautifully. I was very, very shocked, especially with like pink and red tone shades. That's really hard to do, so I was very impressed by the matte shades in here. The neutral mattes are also really nice, a bit on the softer side, and this palette only has 4 of those. The shimmers though,
No, God!
As much as I love the idea of these kind of like marbleized shimmers, they're very, very hard to get nice on the eyes, and it's really hard to get a consistent application of the shade across your eyes because all the different colors are mixing. So for example, here's like a little swatch, and you can see the bottom part of the swatch and the top are completely different colors. As it happens, it shows up that way on the eyes. So then I tried to take my brush and kind of like swirl it around in there, and it just kind of creates this muddy, almost gray toned pink shade. So that is what the color looks like. But beyond that, I don't like the finish of these shimmer shades. Like, they're very kind of underwhelming. This is like the ColourPop highlighter, and this is like that shimmer shade from the eyeshadow. Very lackluster. You would expect a like shimmer eyeshadow to be a little bit more pigmented and blinding than a highlighter, but guess not. In this palette, it's less of a problem because there are a lot more matte shades in here, whereas with this palette, you only get 4 matte shades in here, and the rest are these shimmers that are very, very lackluster. For example, if I have like a gold like this, I don't want it to be like a satin shade that barely has any like reflectiveness to it. It seems like it would be really foiled and beautiful on the eyes, but even with a wet brush, this one is just super underwhelming. And even with the finger, they just lack that kind of impact on the eyes. So I don't love the formula of these shimmers. I think the mattes are actually very nice, which kind of makes me want to try some more eyeshadows from Makeup Revolution. But if you're wanting these kind of like marbleized shimmers, I would say steer clear. The other thing I want to review from them were these little Sculpt and Glow contour and highlight palettes, and this very much reminded me of my Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Film Star Bronze and Glow, which I know my dear beautiful friend Hannah from Smoky Glow completely tore this palette apart. I still love it, and I also still love Hannah. We can respectfully disagree, and that is the beauty of mature people in the beauty community. And yes, that was 100% shade. Really beautiful. I do really like Makeup Revolution's highlighters quite a bit, and this is stunning. Kind of like the ColourPop one. This just blends into the skin so beautifully and just creates this very nice pearly glow. You win some, you lose some, I guess. Another thing from the Pro line that I tried is their Hydra Matte Translucent Setting Powder. I tried to do the thing that Glossier does with their Wowder, which is having a little bit of a net in there so that it's like not flying everywhere. It's still kind of a mess. Just not like fine. It's just a little bit too like not fine, so the powder still comes through it anyway. It barely like keeps everything in there. But I was really interested in the concept of like a hyaluronic acid setting powder, and today I did the unthinkable and I set down my entire face with powder. Like, everything looks kind of like nice and velvety smooth and kind of blurred out, but it still looks nice and dewy and luminous and skin-like, and I think that's nice. Overall though, I think the Makeup Revolution Pro line does seem to be a bit more like bougie and nice quality from the regular Makeup Revolution line, and it makes me pretty excited to try more. So I will update you guys if I find anything else from Makeup Revolution that I like, because I kind of want to start exploring their brand again. I also don't have this one to show you guys because I did leave it in my dorm room for the weekend, but I've been trying out the new Olaplex bonding oil. You guys know I really like the Olaplex number 3 bond repair. Basically, it's just like a kind of deep conditioning hair mask that actually repairs split ends. One of the few products that actually does that for me. So I was really interested in trying out the bonding oil because you can really only use the Olaplex number 3 like on washing days, whereas with the oil you can kind of put it on whenever. And I heat style my hair almost every day. It's not great for me, but it's what I do. And where I have noticed myself getting a little bit of damage, the Olaplex bonding oil has done really great things to repair that. So it is a ridiculously expensive product. Like, it's this small of a bottle of hair oil, and I go through hair oil very fast, and it's a $28 hair oil, so not very thrilled about the price. I think Olaplex just generally does very expensive amounts of product. The results kind of speak for themselves, so it's a catch-22 for me. Like, I'm gonna repurchase it, but I'm not gonna feel good about it, you know? If you watch my most recent skincare video, you know that my one true love in life, besides Tom Holland and Spider-Man, is Laneige. And I run a cult where we worship Samantha Robindahl, and she raved about these Laneige lip glowy balms, so I knew I had to try them. Laneige actually sent me all 3 flavors. I was really torn on which one to get, and they were like, ha, here you go. So I did get to try all 3 of them. Peach one is my personal favorite. Lovely. I love the mustard yellow color as well. Beautiful. Samantha Robindahl mentioned using them as a lip gloss. Her mind. And I'm glad that she mentioned that, because if I wasn't using them as a kind of like very hydrating lip gloss type thing, I don't think I would like them as lip balms, honestly. You guys know I love my Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask. This is my favorite lip balm. This is a really, really richly hydrating lip balm. These ones aren't super hydrating. I think they're more geared towards making your lips look nice and pretty rather than really, really hydrating your lips. So these, I think, are a really nice touch up throughout the day. Because I wear lipstick, I don't really apply like lip balm throughout the day, but these are really nice to kind of smooth on top of your lip color. They don't mess up your lipstick. They add just a tiny bit of like hydration, and it's not super, super glossy, but it does add a little bit of like emollients so your lips aren't dry throughout the day. So that is what I've been using these for. I think they're really lovely lip balms for like kind of doing a nice slightly glossy effect throughout the day and just touching up your hydration. But if you're using them as your sole lip balm, I don't think that they're enough hydration, if that makes sense. I love sheet masks. I actually have a ritual with my mom where we do sheet masks like every weekend, either over FaceTime or in person. And we're gonna do it in person because I'm home for the weekend. But as a sheet mask junkie who goes through sheet masks very often, I love trying out new ones. So Givenchy. Givenchy has these sheet masks, and it's actually like a fairly interesting concept. They're basically sheet masks that come in this little like makeup remover type package. It looks like makeup remover wipes, but they're sheet masks. So you get 14 in a package, which is a pretty good deal for a high-end brand like that. And I think I've used like 4 of these sheet masks. I don't think they really did anything. Normally with sheet masks, I notice my skin feeling a lot plumper, a lot more hydrated, and a lot just like nicer looking the day after I use it, or even like directly after. These ones, I don't know, it just kind of felt like I put a nice like cooling wet rag on my face for 15 minutes and then took it off. They weren't like super like wet masks, and I normally really like very serum-y juicy masks. These ones were not that. They were a little bit drier, which I don't normally mind. So interesting concept. I do like the idea of having sheet masks in that packaging where it's like you get multiple sheet masks. Execution wise, Givenchy, oh no, what is you doing, baby? Literally a tragedy, love. Alright guys, that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I do have a little bit of an announcement to make regarding the new Makeup Releases Favorites and Fails series, and it's that this will no longer be a monthly series on my channel. Not only was I never really consistent with actually uploading the video in the same month that it was intended for. Here's the August new Makeup Releases Favorites and Fails, and then upload that shit in September. Also, I feel like it really did contribute a lot to me just over buying and over trying new makeup to a point where my collection would just fill up so much and I would feel overwhelmed and have to declutter constantly. Because if I think about it, me making an effort to do these videos every month would mean I would try out about 10 to 15 new products a month, which means adding in 10 to 15 new products to my collection a month. And I don't know, I just kind of want to test out to see how I feel scaling it back a little bit with these videos and just doing them when I feel I have enough new releases to share this. So that probably means I'll just do it like every 1.5 months instead of 1 month. I do still love trying out new makeup, and it is a part of my job that I really enjoy. But I just want to take a break from doing it every month and see how I feel about my makeup collection and see if that kind of fixes some of the thoughts I've been feeling. So hope you guys don't mind that. I do know you guys love this series. But yeah, that is my little announcement. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Thank you so much to Shop Tiger for sponsoring today's video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you are subscribed down below, and also follow me on Instagram to see makeup looks like this posted periodically. And if you made it to the very end of this video, you brilliant, powerful musk oxes, you get the bonus meme. Love you. Bye.
Something sa malo. You know what I'm saying?